coming to you on a dusty road. Good loving, I've got a truckload. And when you get it, you've got something. So don't worry, 'cause I'm a-coming. I'm a soul man. I'm a soul man. I'm a soul man. I'm a soul man. Got what I got the hard way, and I make better each and every day. So honey, oh don't you fret, 'cause you ain't seen, oh, nothing yet. I'm a soul man. Oh, I'm a soul man. I'm a soul man. I'm a soul man. Hey, listen, let's blow up on a side street. Learn how to love before I could eat. I was educated on good stock. When I start loving, oh, I just can't stop. I'm a soul man. Wow, I'm a soul man. I'm a soul man. I'm a soul man. How? Well, grab the rope and I'll pull you in. I'll give you hope and I'll be your only boyfriend. Yeah, yeah. I'm a soul man. I'm a soul man. You're a soul man. I'm a soul man. I'm a soul man. Ha, ha. I'm a soul man. All right, Tilcon, New York. Well, welcome to this week, February 22nd. That was me performing Soul Man, if you haven't figured that out. It was originally by the Sam and Dave, and then made famous again in the 70s with the Blues Brothers. So, let me slide up a little bit here. All right, so this week, we're going to be finishing out the 8 elements of our emergency, our environmental health and safety, 8 elements. So this week we're going to talk about number 7, which is emergency preparedness. And why we need to be prepared in these type of situations is to minimize employees' injuries. We want to minimize asset damage. Obviously the public and the safety and the communities in which we operate in. And then obviously the other piece of it is we want to make sure we prevent any environmental impact. So obviously employees, contractors, people working at the facilities, vendors, visitors, anybody that's at our facilities, that's our first and main concern. And then obviously our assets, the public, and then the environmental impact. So things that can affect us and our facilities are spills, fires, explosions, confined space, and working at heights rescue. Those are emergency situations that we have to prepare for. You can have bomb scares, civic disturbances, and any kind of natural disasters. Now we're prone to hurricanes and obviously heavy snowstorms in this area. Now we're kind of a little bit away from the shore area, but hurricanes still roll through, nor'easters, floods. There's potential for floods when things overflow. And then, we also have lightning and thunderstorms. So there's a lot of natural disasters that can happen for us. All right, so we need to make sure that we have good written emergency preparedness plans in place, first aid, CPR, all of that stuff. And then we need to make sure that everybody knows exactly what they have to do. Where's the muster points? Where do we have to go in the event of an emergency? The last element is probably one of the most important. I'm not saying it's more important than the other ones, but it has a lot more weight to it. And this is employee involvement and expectations. And here we're talking about all Tilcon New York employees, not just senior leadership, not just managers, not supervisors. We're talking about all employees in every department in our organization. So what do we ask all employees to do? Well, we ask them first to comply with all of our environmental health, safety, and security policies and procedures. We want to make sure everybody's following that. We strive to work safe and act safe. We want to make sure that people have that mindset that they want to work safe each and every day. We need to make sure that we attend our environmental health and safety and security training, the meetings that are held out there, making sure that you don't just attend and sit there and twiddle your thumbs, and that you're participating in that safety training as well. We want to make sure that people are driving safely on the road and off the road. Whether you're driving one of our company pickup trucks, whether you're driving as a salesperson to meet one of our clients, or you're driving a haul truck, a loader, it's important that we drive safely no matter where we're driving to when we're in a work environment. And then making sure that you, wear your personal protective equipment. It has to apply to the work situation that you're in. So obviously working out on the roads has a different PPE setting than somebody maybe working in the maintenance garage, somebody working in a QC lab, somebody working out on the asphalt plants. So it has to apply. And then you need to know how to use it correctly, how to inspect it, and how to care for it. So that's important with regards to the PPE. And then the other thing we ask of you is timely incident notification. Making sure that you notify your supervisor as soon as physically possible when an incident happens. Whether it's an injury, whether it's an environmental spill, whether it's some kind of registered vehicle incident, it doesn't really make a difference. And then the other thing that we ask all of you, or everybody in the organization, is to make sure that visitors, vendors, carriers, and contractors work safe as well. If you don't feel comfortable going up to somebody outside the organization on our facility, please, if you want to stop them, please stop them from performing something unsafe. You have every right to do that. If not, you don't feel comfortable, then contact your supervisor immediately and let them know, so we don't have somebody getting hurt on our facilities. All Tilcon New York employees can participate in environmental health, safety, and security activities. You have access to the regulatory and consensus standards. Those are like ANSI, the American National Standards Institute, the National Fire Protection Association, OSHA, MSHA, EPA, all of those. You can and you have the right to decline work if you have reasonable belief that the task poses imminent risk to you and to your coworkers. So make sure you work with your supervisor and the manager, whoever needs to be part of that, to make sure that you don't put yourself and your coworkers in any kind of imminent danger. You have every right to notify your department, your line of business leadership, the environmental health and safety group and security group, and for any problems that need attention. So some of the tools that you personally have in your toolbox are your pre-shift and area inspections. By doing a good job of those, it minimizes the risk of driving your vehicles, in an unsafe aspect, or operating a piece of machinery. Then hazard recognition, recognizing hazards and doing something about it, and let your supervisor know that you recognize and did something about these hazards. And then finally, one of the biggest tools that we have in our toolbox are the risk assessments. Doing a good risk assessment will always minimize or eliminate the risk that we have out there. So that's some of the stuff that you have in your toolbox. Now, we've been talking lately about human performance. And let me just give you a thumbnail sketch of what's coming and how human performance is really going to help us as an organization. So the definition really, is human performance is really focused on improving the systems that influence the behaviors of our culture. So over the last 4 weeks, we've been talking about the Tilcon New York Environmental Health Safety Security Management System, or operating system. Well, that whole system kind of builds around our culture, our environmental health, safety, and security culture. So this is really taking a look at that system that we have and seeing where we have any breakdowns, if you will. So this focuses on improving systems that influence the behavior of our culture. We're good. We want to get to great. Okay? So what is it going to take in order for us to get to this side? It's all of us working together. And that's where I say united we stand. That's really a key for us to be successful. So one of the things it looks at is why at-risk behaviors make sense to some workers. So you think about it, why do some people, are some people willing to take more riskier behaviors than others? Why do some people do it correctly every time and some people do not? Well, that's some of the questions that we take a look at when we have events and where our breakdown is in the system. The training that we have, right now, unfortunately, we're doing a lot of online and video training. We want to get to that hands-on. We heard from last year from the yellow iron incidents that we did, the yellow iron exercises that we did, that people really like the hands-on training. We will go back to that full steam once we get out of this COVID-19. And then, finally, the last thing I want to talk to you about, all humans are prone to mistakes. Everybody is. The system, then, what we're trying to take a look at with our system is to eliminate or greatly reduce the risks that we have. We can't take every risk out of our business. We can't take every risk out of the quarries, out of the asphalt plants, out on the road sites. We just can't. It's not going to happen. But what we want to do is eliminate as best as we can, or greatly reduce as best as we can. So I tell, some people think they're know-it-alls. And I got to admit, times in my life I probably thought I'm a know-it-all. You kind of get to a certain age, and I've experienced this with my daughters. I love both of them. But, they get to a certain age and they think they know it all, from that standpoint. And I can tell you, at the age that I'm at now, I don't know it all. I wish I could say I did, but I don't. Realistically, there's a lot of things that I don't know, and that's why I ask a lot of questions. And, it's easier for me to ask a question than to make believe that I know it, and then I end up getting myself in trouble, in the long haul. So please, if you don't know, please ask somebody about it. It's not a bad thing to ask. So a couple questions I want you just to think about, all right? How can you, grow in 2021 from our environmental health, safety, and security? How can you grow? How can I make a difference? How can you help Tilcon New York and yourself personally make a difference? And I want you to think about it. And as I come around to the facilities, please feel free. I'd like to talk to you about it. How did a failure shape you? You failed at something, and, what did you do? Did you get right back up and go do it again, or practice more, or, or you just walk away from it? How did that define you as a person? So think about it. How can you grow? How can you help the organization grow? How can you make a difference? And everybody's had something bad happen in their life. How did you respond to that? What did you do in order to move forward in your life? So Tilcon New York, that's what we have for this week. Hope you enjoyed the singing. I enjoy it. So have a safe week.